Hello, welcome now. And as you can see, I'm wearing a Mayo um, colour hat just to congratulate the Mayo team. And this is so big for Mayo. It's huge, really. I've watched Mayo play football and play in the All Ireland several times since I was younger, since 1989 actually. And every time they were beaten, every time they didn't win. And yesterday, on the 26th of July, they won the match. And one of the really sweet things about it is not only did they win, but the fact is that they beat Kerry, which would be regarded as one of the greatest counties for football in the whole country. So almost that's a double victory because to win is fantastic for Mayo, but to beat Kerry is very sweet and something a lot of us would have thought wouldn't almost be impossible. So that's great credit to the team and to the manager Andy Morton because one of the things he did when he took over, and he's only about a year managing that team, he brought in some very young players, some of them just teenagers, and that's but some of them are brilliant, very skilled, and absolutely full of energy and full of speed and pace and well able to score. I suppose some of those young lads you brought in are forwards, well able to score points. And yesterday they even scored a goal. Now I don't know if Mayo ever scored a goal before in an All Ireland football final, but they definitely did yesterday, and even that was incredible. So we're so overjoyed, and a lot of people would have said to me, um, they wouldn't have thought that they've ever seen this in their lifetime. I personally was coming around to the view that I would never see in my lifetime Mayo win the All Ireland, and I went down to the local pub here, the Turf Shed, afterwards, and there were a few men down there who were alive when Mayo won in 1951. They were alive at the time, and Junior Tuffy, Thomas Tuffy. Um, also, um, there was a few others as well. Eugene Eugene O'Neill was another one, and Peter Rowley. They're some of the ones I saw down there. There could be a few others in the parish who were alive at that time, but there wouldn't be that many really. Those in their 80s would have been alive. Um, but it's I don't know if they would remember. Some of them might remember. The ones in their late 80s might remember it happening. But it's incredible that it has happened again. It's great for our county and for people who play football, but also for all of us who watch it and who thought Mayo would never win or kept losing. Mayo kept losing all the time. So it's a fantastic thing to happen. But to actually beat Kerry is makes it doubly sweet, if you like, because Kerry are fantastic, and it's amazing that Mayo were able to win. But we have to admit that their skill and that they deserved to win because of the way they played, the energy and the enthusiasm. And I just to mention one thing about the manager Andy Moore, he's a very positive man, very positive attitude towards everything. And I'm convinced that he was able to convince the players on that team that they actually could win. In other words, there was a psychological component in it as well. Um, Teams that played, the Mayo team played for many years in All Ireland, but I wonder did they really believe they could win because of the history of losing all the time. But then you bring a manager who believed himself, I think, that they could win. But he was able, however he did that, he was able to convince those players that they could win. I'd say maybe largely because some of them were quite young as well, and they were fearless, and they were fearless players. The way they kind of attacked the Kerry players and closed them down and tackled them and everything. And it was great to watch that. But for us in Mayo, this is really big. This is something that, as I said, some of us believe we would never see in our lifetime. So it is a tremendous thing, not just for Mayo, but I think for the whole country, really. And I know Kerry wouldn't begrudge us because Kerry had won so often. If they had won yesterday, they would have won 40 titles. which is more than any other county in the whole country. So this is only Mayo's fourth um, time to win. And this is a photograph here of one of the teams in the 50s that they were the champions. So it's great to be alive for this. It's fantastic for the county, and it can only do good, and it can only be good for football. And maybe other counties who haven't won or haven't won for a long time, maybe their turn will come. It's great when it isn't always the same people that win, like Dublin or Kerry, because they have kind of dominated. They've dominated football for years and years and years and years, and it's still dominated in terms of the number of All Irelands that they win. But it's always fantastic if a new team gets through or a team that haven't won it in a long time gets through. So this is a really special thing. And just to congratulate Andy Moore and the players. Now they had to fight really hard to win. It wasn't there was nothing easy about it, but they were able for it. But psychologically, just in terms to talk about their minds, they believed, they actually believed very strongly that they could do it. I'm sure that was a big help. So congratulations to everyone, and we're so proud of them. And this will be remembered. This what happened will be remembered for many years to come. So well done.